Wrapping out. All right, let's reset that then. We're all going to get on the ground. We're going to work on some side lying hip cars. So from my side, what we want to avoid, maybe you can see from here, is like all this extra moving around of the rest of my trunk if I am drawing my circle. I also want to avoid this opening and closing of this space. Very commonly, as we bring our knee up, this space is going to close up, or in other words, your back's going to round, and as you kick back, you're going to want to extend. So you have two options. You can either lay your whole side on the floor and keep it there the whole time and feel the ground the whole time through all pieces of your trunk and your arm. You can also hold the side plank and make whatever shape you want. You can have some space here. That would be fine. But then you have to maintain that, which can be tough, especially as you start to move around. You're going to want to just push into the floor. So you might just hug the ground a little bit like this. So I'll back up some. So you see, I like to do my reps here, hugging the ground this way with my back leg planted in the ground. And then I feel like I'm a statue. Some students will hold here. Here gives you the option to like have a little pillow, which is what we teach with our arm bars and such too. So I like that position. It's very similar to my arm bar. But you can hold here. You can do all kinds of stuff, actually, as long as you stay glued to the ground, right? One of my favorites is to hug an object here also, because then if it doesn't get in the way of my hip cars, then I can stay lean forward. So from our hip cars, what we're going to try to do is avoid any movement here and move only here at the ball and socket. I don't want my pelvis to go anywhere. If students had a yoga block, I would tell them put that yoga block right behind your back and touch it, because if you lose your yoga block, you cheated. Or if you knock it over, you cheated. But that's an option. Right? You might become very aware of how you want to move through your lumbar spine. So I'm going to glue myself to the floor, and then I'm going to try to bring my knee up and across, almost like I'm trying to touch the floor, and then I follow with my foot trying to touch the floor. I'm just hovering, and now I'm starting to already externally rotate as I open away from the ground. I get as far from the ground as I can. I try to get my knee up even higher. All this is glued to the floor. And then we're doing a training rep. We got to keep this really tight and high and swivel with whatever you got. We're turning inward at the femur as you extend your hip by squeezing your butt. And then you draw your knee in towards the floor and you scrape through. We're going to go one direction only, so focus on that. Through here, try to touch the floor, open up and externally rotate. When you have no more room, you're going to switch to internal rotation and extension. Kicking the wall behind you, draw your knees together. I even want like my foot higher than my knee as I bring it in and I reset. And then I'm going to switch. First, my knee is below my foot, then my foot's below my knee. I'm swiveling and opening up. 30 more seconds, please, as you work there. Coaches behind the scenes are watching. Too bad we can't see Kathleen, but that's cool. I see Jeff's hip. You guys should feel a lot of work here on the outside as you scrape and open. Sup, Lawrence? And then you add those knees together and continue in that one direction. What do we got on time? Yes, switch sides, please. Same cues, other leg. So we're going only one direction on these hip circles. Get on your side. If for whatever reason your side was uncomfortable, you could totally work from standing, from quadruped position. That's all, like a bear crawl. That'd be cool too. So we're going to start off one rep together, and then I'll hit the timer for a minute. As a reminder, I like to try to almost swoop my knee first, whoop, and then the foot, and that guides my knee into, or my hip into external rotation as my knee comes up higher. I find that I have no more room out here, then I'm going to internally rotate and extend. We're drawing the biggest circle you can with the tip of your knee in one direction only. And keep it moving all the way in and around. I like to hang on the floor however works to make sure my trunk doesn't rotate. I'm gluing my leg in the ground also. And really trying to focus on articulating that hip. We have another 20 seconds. Ooh, yes. See what you guys got. Nice, nice. Whatever's going on Lawrence's screen is like craziness with being a little too far away.
Hey, Armin, just make sure that your
Wrap up that rep, finish up. That was
just make sure that your top hip doesn't start facing the floor.
Yes.
So you're twisting your hips forward.
So this is falling forward, right? As I draw my circle, this is going to be important too because we're going to go the other way right now. So we're going to stay in the same conversation, but we're going to do backwards reps now. And that would cover all of our bases. But if you think about it, if I'm rotating in this way, my whole pelvis is turning. It's actually like you're doing a little bit of carb work on your bottom leg. If you were super creative, you could like, maybe I'll focus on my bottom leg while it's glued to the ground and just like swivel it however I can. That could become some sort of training for you, right? But what we want to focus on is that nothing moves but the hip on the top. So that means that if your pelvis here, like you're balancing some water on the side of your body and you tipped one way, then you just moved your spine, your bottom hip, to assist in making the circle bigger. You bring out a confused for a second, or it's just very hard to hold. That's possible too. But you want to imagine that that bowl of water wouldn't spill. And you're going to try your best to not let it spill as you do this rep, and that's going to really help you to isolate this. Even if it means you go way slower and your circle's smaller, those would be better reps, higher quality reps. So to be clear on the way backwards, I will kick back and try to follow the same path essentially. As I open up, I have to take my foot with my knee, which is very challenging for some students. I'm going to fix my bottom leg, I'm going to glue myself to the ground, and then I'm going to bring it around as if I want to bring my foot down first in front of my knee, because that's where my knee is, at least it works. And then I kind of swoop with my knee, and now I'm rotating back into internal rotation as I come into my extension. So it's like we started again. 1 minute, boom. Lift with the foot higher than the knee, and really try to turn on this stuff here. And then I swivel as if I'm going to stomp my foot to the ground. I want to bring my foot to the shoulder. I can't though, I try. And then I bring my knee down, and I swoop through, and we'll keep working there. So kick back, glue those legs together, open the foot up higher, look for that internal rotation, open, and then switch to external rotation. Woo. Work that hip. Whatever you can hang on to is useful. If you had a big kettlebell, that would be great. You would feel super solid. Or a handle on the wall, or anything works. But for now, I grip the floor. We have 10 more seconds. Switch sides.
Alex.
We're going to work for 1 minute. Let's do it. So we're going to kick back. Let me set my position a little bit. Hip extension. And then internal rotation has begun. Keep your butt on while maintaining extension. Abs are tight. Nothing's going to move here in your trunk. Open up, foot first. That's all I got. Whoa. Switch to external rotation. Bring it in front. And then I will go back to internal rotation as I extend. Let me adjust my bottom leg. Kick back as hard as I can. Lift the foot up higher. Lead with the foot on the way up. Switch.
Chris, trying to kick your back foot more.
Last rep.
Trying to go in reverse. Yeah.
Get that foot behind you.
Kick. Like you try to kick that sliding door, I think. There you go.
Right, perfect. Woo. Look at this, some work. So finish off that rep, and now you've just warmed up your hips a little bit. We're going to, my hips are tightening up on me, get it into a little bit of 90-90 just for a little extra hip work. So pick a side, it don't matter. I'm leaning towards my left side. I make a 90-degree angle with my front leg. It's already cramping on me, great. I have a 90-degree angle in between. And I have another 90 back here. I could even use my mats. I'm like, okay, I have lines on the ground. I know I've made my shapes. And then I'm going to focus on keeping my chest tall and take everything, all of this, that way. And this is an external stretch for 90-90. Jeff and Kathleen, that is adorable. Y'all are like mobilizing with each other forever. Very cute. After you feel that stretch, switch over to the other side and give me a stretch on the same movement or same position. You got tongue tied. So again, 90. Basics. Get nice and tall. Sometimes you'll see me use my hand on my foot. I like to use it to pull this hip a little more forward, a little more pride, and try to make sure I don't lose this lumbar curve, this nice position that my spine started in. I'm not going to allow it to round. That bows to stretch higher and higher up here. And I want that stretch to get kinked down here in the hip socket. Trying to target the capsule here. So get nice and tall, sit into it. And then we're gonna go for 1 minute on only those transitions back and forth. So if you want to, I'm not gonna stop you if you spend some time here, but then we open, get those knees nice and wide, point those toes out, use your hands all you want. And then switch over to the other side, rotate, and lean, chest nice and tall. I do like to park at this little stretch for a moment, or possibly a big stretch. I push myself away, kind of facing my back leg. I actively open this knee, and I'm trying to swivel that heel underneath my toes so I can point those toes out. You can use your hands all you want. Keep fighting to push those knees wide. Transition to make your other leg the front leg, swivel, and then you get tall and try to kink only at that hip crease again. I'm here only at the hip crease. So boom, leave your butt behind, take the belly button and the chest forward, and then you rotate back. Actively drive this knee in the ground while you open this one up. Pull that heel underneath, swivel, drive those knees apart. Sometimes I'll grab here and park and pull myself tall, wake up my hip flexors as I drive them towards my chest. And you can even start to try practicing using your hands to balance that way if you can tolerate some of the spine or the hip stuff happening like this. Otherwise, hands on the ground forever could be fine. Opening up, no problem.
Also notice that he's keeping his pelvis pretty forward. So when he uses his hands, he's using them to also help keep him tall.
If Deep Izzle was in here, though, he's got to be like way back here because his hips got no room, and that's okay. You feel it out. We are all big fans of using your hands a lot in those transitions.
Yeah, the hands can be either close to your butt or far away. Either way,
break down,
totally
we spent some extra time there. So finish off whatever makes you feel about even, right? And then we're going to do a little shoulder stuff. Then we're going to get into some of our get-ups. First shoulder thing. Many of you have done some shoulder circles with us, right? I'm almost going to face that anyway, but Melissa's going to point it up for a moment. And so imagine you're going to draw the biggest circle you can with the tip of your finger or your knuckles as you draw here. But we are going to go right to the ground because many of you in here have already done this before, many, many times. So we're going to have to skip all this and start right here and just circle backwards and circle forwards. If you want to face a wall instead, works great. I'm going to lay down on the ground like this, and I'm going to start from here. My free hand is my pillow. So opposite side, it would look like this. I'm gonna show you here, right? And we're gonna work for 1 minute on that shoulder circle. What I wanna see is that that shoulder is still fighting to stay far from the ground. I wish I had a different color shirt sometimes so you could see all the way down away from my ear. And I'll show you 1 rep to be clear, then I'll start the timer. I'm gonna lay down, get tight, abs on, legs are tight, everything tight, reach up high, pack the shoulder, internally rotate as I reach backwards, fighting all the way around. And then I'll glue my arm to my body, try to cramp my armpit, and do the same thing, reaching that way. Lift, swivel, and let's see it. 1 minute. I'll do another one with you. We're facing down, so my arm up over my head. So this is a prone or half shoulder cars in the prone position because we're only doing half of the cars rep, right? Elbows got to stay straight for the whole drill. Keep that head down, pack that shoulder, use your tension. Try to lift off the ground, and then you're already in your max flexion at this point. You're going to internally rotate and extend. Packing the shoulder. Don't let that shoulder blade slip forward or dunk forward. Abs are tight. Get that hand all the way high, and then you finish your rep here by just bringing your whole arm down by your side. Hopefully the back of your palm still brushing by your leg, and then you reach back and repeat. Get tight and swivel out. And then you keep going. Let's see how time is. 5 more seconds. Nice. I noticed I spend so much time on 1 rep. That's all I need. 1 minute. Boom. Switch sides, please. Other arm. Get ready. 3. Thanks for switching. TJC. 2, 1. Go. Kathleen and Jeff just got to make sure they don't bump. This is great. They have it synchronized. Fist bumps always allowed when you're working these. So you're holding that shoulder blade down and back. You're holding your pelvis a little hollow too, so that you don't start to try to crane and lift your chest up. That chest stays down like it's on a pencil. You want to keep that pencil glued to the ground using your chest pressure. We have 30 more seconds. Let's say I start back here. You got to give me a lefty rep. Bring it around. Yeah, Lawrence is floating. He's crowd surfing right now.
What?
Last 5. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't see Lawrence's screen, he's got the whole Jiu-Jitsu Academy behind him, the whole team. So as he's laying on the floor, he's like crowd surfing the whole class. Like 50 students back there, 60 students. It's pretty funny.
All cheering up
And
on
he's like on top of them all because the background's getting funky. So we finish off those. This angle's actually good because we're going to move into our floor work. It's all floor work today. But we're going to start to work on that S.O.S. Get up. For some of you, what's that stand for? Skill of strength. Mike Perry's gym. Mike Perry, very smart guy, came up with this version of the get up, or he popularized it. He may have invented every piece of it, I'm not sure. But essentially, he has all his teams work on this every day when they walk in. That's part of their warm-up or part of their training, because when you get very good at this, then you can start to advance it and such too. But essentially, we're going to work on a lot of extra T-spine prying while we're getting up. We're going to only work our way to the halfway position. For anyone who's not clear, this is the start, just like the get up. So this foot would be on the ground. Let's say right foot on the ground, right arm in the air. Let's all be on the same page. I hope I'm not mirrored. It does look like I'm mirrored. This is my right side. Right arm up, right leg in the ground, left arm is out, left leg is straight. From here, I'm going to roll up using this leg to my elbow. If you're new to the get up to your elbow. Pack those shoulders. A lot of us already are trying to bring our shoulders into our ears. So we're going to pull our shoulders down away from the ears. You're going to try to stack up on that elbow a lot.
Hey, Lawrence, think about a bow and arrow situation where your bottom shoulder is also away from your ears.
This hand's got to stay over my shoulder, the hand that's above me.
Sweet.
And
yeah, just tall chest. Tall spine.
Big open chest. Look down at your elbow. Pack that shoulder on the bottom. Look up at your hand. Pack that shoulder. I want, again, some looks. Rotate the neck down. Rotate the neck up. And try to see if your shoulders don't follow along. I want 5. That was 3. Here's number 4.
Armin, double check your bottom shoulder.
Here's number 5.
Yeah, nice.
And then I'm going to come back down. Switch sides.
It's a common one.
And if you don't rotate, that's cool. As long as we see you from the side, that's cool. Some of you are quick to rotate. I just want to face everyone too. So I'm up here on my other side.
Oh.
Pack my shoulders. And then I'm going to look down and look up 5 times. This is some neck flossing. When you're using a very light weight on your arm bars or any of your get-ups, then it's a good idea to add some neck rotations to help you, almost like with our cars. Your shoulders are busy doing something, and then can you move your neck still and dissociate the two? Or are they all going to muck up each other, right? Finish those 5, and then come back down with control. We're switching over again to the other leg when you finish. I'm up on my left arm, my right arm's in the air, my right foot's planted on the ground. Now, we are here, we did some neck rotations. I'm on the first side again. I'm gonna switch my feet. One leg bends in, the other one steps over. Right, here I was. So just to be clear, bring one foot in, step the other one over. This is also valid in any of your get-ups if you prefer to swap your feet that way before we bring our knee underneath us. So now I'm going to use this leg in the ground to drive and put this knee underneath me. In my mind, I like to point this knee out as far as I can, almost like I'm going to get a little bit of a frog stretch. That's just for me though, right? Because my hand's still up in the air. And we're going to bring this knee down. I want you to rock back and forth 1 or 2 times. So now both knees are down, one arm is up. I'm getting a big twist. My lats want to cramp. Come back up. This is slightly less of a twist. Rock back and forth.
Oh.
Nice. Bring that knee back down. Oh, boom, with control. Sorry to moon everyone. I'm going to rotate. Boom. There we go. And then I rock back and forth. And then I'm going to turn this foot out. My foot came in. My feet are together. I can turn this foot out and then push up. And that helps me open up too. For some of you struggling in that transition, I'm going to rock back and forth.
Ooh, I like that.
Pack those shoulders.
I like it.
One more time, knee on the ground, rock back and forth. Take a big breath. Exhale easy. Now we reverse, bring the foot up, or the knee up with the foot. I'm going to slide my shin to the back of my heel. So just to be clear, Kim, we got here. And then I'm going to use this leg strong and just slide my hip to the floor. Smooth. Boom. And then we switch the feet. Use this foot hard on the ground and lower yourself. Switch sides. We're doing the same thing. So we did 3 of those little swaps. Can you see me good? I come up to my elbow. Pause here. Swap of the feet. Kick your remote timer, whatever is nearby your feet. Boom. Right? Everyone's on the same page with the foot swap. You want to get more on your side if you can, Lawrence. It's not going to work there laying in your back or laying all over your buddies either. So then from here, bring that knee up. So it's an active partnership between your elbow and this foot to get that knee underneath you, right? There you go. There you go. Now from here, a little rocking. I think it helps me to find what works. You can also adjust little things like where your knee is pointing, depending on your hips. I'm going to bring this knee down after I rock a little. This is rep number 1, down the ground, and rock again. If I had a weight over my head, it would be keeping me very strict. You're going to pretend you have a weight so that you use the floor with your elbow to pry and use this hand in the sky to reach back behind you and get more twists. The whole time you're rocking.
Think about the shape of your spine too. You still want a pretty straight spine rather than more of a macaroni. So
We're trying to avoid the macaronis.
Yeah.
Definitely. Foot back up, or knee back up, dig that foot down, rock again. So we're doing 3 of these. I'm up on my foot. I'm gonna bring my knee back down. This is number 2.
Lawrence, think about Seoinage. How much strength do we need in a twisted rotational position, right?
Knee back up, foot
This is
digs in the
good stuff.
ground. I'm gonna rock a little here. My bottom shoulder is getting tired, that's for sure. My twist is getting more comfortable. Last one on the ground. Knee down, rock side to side, or forward and back, I mean. Looks like side to side from my screen. And then I bring this foot up. I slide ankle to heel. My hips on the ground. Switch the feet. And lower yourself with control. Ooh, yes. We're back on here. It is the 11:30 hour. 11:29 actually. So some of you, they got to go. I know you got to go. Real quick though, we're going to do a few reps where we get all the way to the spot that we stopped at and come right back down. So we're putting the pieces together. I'm going to start here on my back. I'm going to roll my elbow, freeze. I switch my feet. I bring my knee underneath. I keep that hand and my eyes focused on my hand. And then I'm going to bring my knee down. And then I want you to come right back up, slide through, switch legs, and back down. And usually I'd have you go other side. And then you'll go 3 per side in that manner, right? So it would be left, right, left, right, left, right to get your 3 per side. And it would be slightly less tiring. And hopefully you'll twist one way hard, twist the other way hard, open left hip, open right hip, open both hips every time. So let's see it, 3 per side. I'll demo again for anyone who wants to follow along or anything. But if some of you got started early, get your 3 in and then go on to jiu-jitsu. So from here, I roll my elbow, I switch my feet, I dig that foot in the ground to bring my knee underneath, I bring the other knee down, I like to pause here, take a breath, and then I use this toes in the floor, bring my knee up, slide my other leg through, switch my feet, and lower with control. Let me show you facing away
good.
from the camera, so anyone who wants to see the other direction, it's useful. Elbow, swap feet, slide the knee through, drop the other knee down. This is a great twist. And then you come back up. Boom.
Also, remember your spine will follow where your eyeballs go. So if possible, try to keep looking at your hand above your head. That'll help with the twist.
So Lawrence, you need to be on your elbow first, and then you'll go to your hand. So yeah, you'll stay there. Switch your feet. Beautiful. Now get to the knee. Excellent. And then you get to the hand.
We weren't going to the hand today, but I noticed also that very jiu-jitsu-like, you just brought both knees straight down, right? So you don't have to do the Seoinage right there, but you want to do it piece by piece. Here, then bring it down with control here, and then you would reverse it the same way. Because you're not going to suddenly like stop your feet and jump over, right? Or just flop over onto the other direction. So piece by piece in both directions is going to help you own the movement, and you'll get a little more out of it. Because we want to put ourselves everywhere and not fall anywhere and end up making the shape instead.
Right.
And if anyone's got any questions, let us know. Otherwise, we keep it short on Saturday.
Going back and forth from lifting the knee and dropping the knee is so useful, and you can spend so much time there. That is a little secret. If you can just get good at that, man, you'll get some gains.
That was the whole class today. Going up and down in that one spot. Well, the last 10 minutes.
All right.
Own that position.
Let us know if you have any questions.
I need to